What looked powerful in earlier years often begins to feel heavy with time. The habits that once helped them move forward now start limiting the life they created. In youth, distraction is easy. Noise is everywhere. There are goals to chase, money to make, people to meet, places to go, and endless reasons to stay busy. Movement can hide emptiness for a long time. A crowded schedule can make inner silence harder to hear. Many dismissive avoidants survive by staying in motion. If they never slow down, they never have to feel what waits underneath. But age changes the rhythm of life. The pace becomes different. Energy is not endless. Some friendships fade. Careers become normal instead of exciting. Achievements stop giving the same rush they once did. Even victories become quieter. What once felt thrilling can begin to feel routine. And when the outside world grows calmer, the inside world becomes louder. This is where many people meet themselves for the first time. The evenings feel longer. Empty rooms feel larger. Weekends feel strangely quiet. The mind that once focused only on tasks begins to wander into places it avoided for years. Memories rise. Old regrets return. Faces from the past appear in thought. Conversations that never happened start replaying in imagination. The heart starts speaking in a language logic cannot silence. Human psychology shows something powerful. Feelings delayed are not feelings erased. They wait. They remain stored in the body, in memory, in patterns, in reactions. They can sleep for years, then wake when life slows down. This is why someone can seem unaffected for decades, then suddenly feel sadness they cannot explain. It did not appear from nowhere. It was always there, waiting for space. For dismissive avoidance, space can feel uncomfortable because space removes distractions. When there is no constant project, no chase, no new target, no fresh excitement, they are left with the one relationship they postponed the most, the relationship with themselves. That meeting can be difficult. They may notice they know how to solve problems, but not how to share emotions. They know how to earn respect, but not how to receive tenderness. They know how to function under pressure, but not how to rest in closeness. They know how to leave, but not how to stay open. These realizations can create a deep inner conflict. Part of them still believes distance is safety. Another part feels tired of carrying everything alone. One side says, keep control. The other whispers, I want warmth. One side says, people disappoint. The other says, maybe I never truly let anyone in. This battle is exhausting because both voices feel true. Many dismissive avoidants also begin noticing a painful pattern in their history. Important people came near, then slowly drifted away. Not always because those people were wrong, but because connection cannot grow where vulnerability is always blocked. Love needs presence. Trust needs honesty. Intimacy needs access. If someone is physically there but emotionally unavailable, others eventually feel lonely beside them. And loneliness beside someone hurts more than loneliness alone. That truth can hit later in life with surprising force. They may think about partners who tried to understand them, friends who reached out, family members who wanted closeness. Chances they dismissed because they felt uncomfortable at the time. What they called unnecessary may now look valuable. What they once ignored may now look rare. Regret is one of the strongest teachers in adulthood, not because it punishes, but because it reveals value too late. Another shift happens as people around them build deeper support systems. Others grow families, loyal friendships, emotional bonds, and communities that become stronger with time. Meanwhile, the dismissive avoidant may have built success, but not support. They may have achievements to display, yet no safe place to fall when life becomes hard, and life always becomes hard at some point. No one escapes loss. No one avoids aging. No one lives without seasons of weakness, fear, illness, disappointment, or uncertainty. In those moments, independence alone can feel cold. Competence cannot hug you. Status cannot sit beside you in grief. Money can solve many problems, but not the ache of emotional emptiness. This is when many discover that connection was never a luxury. It was a human need. Some react by becoming even more distant. They double down on control. They tell themselves emotions are useless. They judge others for needing closeness. They act unaffected, but when pain is denied, it often returns stronger. Suppressed longing can become bitterness. Buried sadness can become anger. Hidden fear can become criticism. Others begin awakening. They start asking honest questions. Why do I pull away when someone cares? Why does kindness make me uncomfortable? Why do I feel trapped when nothing harmful is happening? Why have I spent years proving I do not need what every heart needs? These questions are powerful because awareness breaks automatic patterns. For the first time, they may see that their old strategy had a cost. Yes, it reduced disappointment. Yes, it helped them survive. Yes, it gave them control. But it also blocked joy, softness, shared burdens, and the healing that only safe connection can bring. Many people think pain only comes from attachment. That is incomplete. Pain also comes from isolation. Pain comes from never being known. Pain comes from carrying heavy emotions with no witness. Pain comes from living guarded so long that even peace feels unfamiliar. The older someone gets, the harder it becomes to pretend emptiness is freedom. Time strips illusions. It asks simple questions with sharp honesty. Who truly knows you? Where do you feel safe? Who can you call when your strength runs low? What have you built inside your heart, not only outside in the world? Those questions can shake a person awake. And if they choose courage, something beautiful can begin. Not perfection, not instant transformation, but truth. And truth is where healing starts. Because the moment someone stops glorifying distance, they can begin learning closeness. The moment they stop worshiping control, they can begin practicing trust. The moment they admit the loneliness, they stop being ruled by it. What once felt like protection now stands exposed as a cage whose door was never locked. Once a person sees the cage, they can never fully unsee it. That awareness changes everything. The old excuses lose their power. The familiar habits no longer feel noble. What once seemed like wisdom begins to look like avoidance. And this is where the deepest emotional truth starts to rise. Every human being is built with a need that cannot be removed, the need to be seen, the need to be accepted, the need to matter to someone beyond performance, beyond status, beyond usefulness. This need can be ignored, delayed, hidden, or mocked, but it cannot be erased. It lives quietly beneath ambition, beneath pride, beneath routine, waiting for its turn to speak. Many dismissive avoidants spend years believing they are different from everyone else. They tell themselves they need less. They convince themselves they are above emotional dependence. They may even feel superior because they appear unaffected while others struggle with relationships. But emotional numbness is not evolution. It is often injury wearing expensive clothes. The body knows what the mind denies. This is why some people who claim they do not care still feel restless at night. They may say relationships are unnecessary, yet feel strangely empty after another day of success. They may insist they prefer distance, yet become jealous when others share warmth they never learned to receive. They may reject closeness, then wonder why life feels dry. The truth keeps knocking. No trophy can replace tenderness. No title can substitute for trust. No public praise can fill the private hunger to be known deeply and loved honestly. A person can own many things and still feel poor inside. They can command rooms and still feel abandoned within themselves. That is the emotional truth they cannot escape. Some discover it after losing someone patient who truly cared. Only when that person walks away do they understand what was offered. Presence often becomes valuable after absence. They thought they had endless time. They thought another caring person would appear whenever needed. They thought connection was common. Then silence teaches what comfort could not. Some discover it during illness or hardship. Strength feels different when the body is tired. Independence feels different when help is needed. Control feels different when life becomes uncertain. In those seasons, many realized they built a life that looked solid but lacked softness. Some discover it while watching others share simple moments. A warm conversation, a hand held in worry, a friend who shows up without being asked, a family that laughs with ease. These small scenes can touch something buried for years. They reveal that what seems ordinary is often priceless. Dismissive avoidants are not empty people. Many are full of emotion they were never taught to handle. They may care deeply, but expression feels dangerous. They may love sincerely, but showing it feels exposing. They may crave loyalty, but receiving support feels uncomfortable. So they hide what they most need. This creates a painful split inside the self. One part longs for closeness. Another part runs from it. One part wants to trust. Another part expects disappointment. One part wants to relax into love. Another part scans for reasons to withdraw. Living divided like this drains energy. It creates confusion. It makes peaceful relationships feel strange and unstable because chaos is more familiar than calm. When someone has practiced distance for years, safety can feel boring while emotional unavailability feels normal. Psychology often calls this repetition of old patterns. People return to what feels familiar, even when it hurts. The nervous system chooses known discomfort over unknown peace. That is why some people keep repeating cycles they claim to hate. The pattern is painful, but predictable. Yet time becomes a mirror. It reflects the cost of staying the same. The dismissive avoidant may begin noticing they are surrounded by contacts but starved of intimacy. Many people know their surface, few know their soul. They have conversations, but not communion. They have company, but not closeness. They are remembered for competence, not cherished for who they are. That realization can break a person open. And sometimes breaking open is the beginning of becoming whole. Because pain has a purpose when it tells the truth. Loneliness can become guidance. Regret can become direction. Emptiness can become evidence that something essential has been neglected. Instead of numbing these signals, a wise person listens. The message is simple. You were never meant to carry life alone. You were never meant to turn your heart into a locked room. You were never meant to mistake detachment for maturity. You were never meant to survive forever when you were capable of living. This does not mean becoming dependent on everyone. It does not mean losing boundaries. It does not mean accepting unhealthy behavior. It means understanding balance. Strong people can connect. Private people can love. Independent people can receive support. Self-respect and vulnerability can exist together. Many dismissive avoidants fear that opening up means losing control. In reality, constant guarding is its own prison. Real control is choosing honesty when fear says hide. Real power is staying present when discomfort rises. Real confidence is allowing someone to know the real you without performing perfection. The emotional truth keeps growing clearer with age. The heart does not retire from its needs. It does not stop wanting sincerity because birthdays pass. It does not become satisfied with empty success because years move forward. It still wants belonging. It still wants peace shared with another human being. It still wants to rest. And when a person finally admits this, shame begins to loosen. They stop asking, "What is wrong with me for needing people?" They begin asking, "What happened to me that made needing people feel unsafe?" That question changes everything because it replaces judgment with understanding. Once understanding enters, healing becomes possible. The past is no longer a life sentence. The old identity starts cracking. The mask becomes heavy. The performance becomes unnecessary. The person underneath starts breathing again. The truth they tried to outrun was never their enemy. It was the doorway waiting for them all along. When the doorway is finally seen, a new choice appears. A person can keep repeating the old life or step into a different one. This is the moment many people fear most, because healing asks for something distance never asked for. It asks for honesty. It asks for patience. It asks for courage in places where control once ruled. For dismissive avoidance, growing older does not have to become a sentence of regret. It can become the season of awakening. Years can bring wisdom that younger versions never had. Time can soften pride. Experience can expose false beliefs. Pain can teach what comfort never could. The same life that once strengthened their defenses can now help remove them. Many people believe change belongs only to the young. That is not true. Human beings can grow at any stage when truth is accepted. Some of the strongest transformations happen later because the person is finally tired of pretending. They are tired of carrying masks, tired of calling emptiness freedom, tired of protecting wounds that are ready to heal. The first step is often simple, but not easy. Admit the cost of the old pattern. Admit that silence did not solve everything. Admit that withdrawal pushed away people who cared. Admit that staying unreachable also kept joy outside. Admit that what once felt safe now feels lonely. This honesty is powerful because denial keeps chains locked. Truth opens them. Then comes another step, learning to feel without running. Many dismissive avoidants became skilled at thinking around emotions instead of moving through them. They explain everything, analyze everything, rationalize everything. But feelings do not disappear because they are explained. They need to be experienced, named, and released. That may mean sitting quietly and noticing sadness without distracting yourself. It may mean admitting anger hides grief. It may mean recognizing that numbness often covers fear. It may mean allowing tears after years of holding them back. None of this is weakness. It is emotional strength in its real form. Another important shift is learning safe connection. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Healing does not mean trusting everyone blindly. It means choosing healthy people and practicing openness in small steps. One honest conversation, one vulnerable sentence, one moment of asking for help, one act of staying present when your instinct says retreat. Growth is often quiet. It does not always arrive as a dramatic breakthrough. Sometimes it arrives as sending a message you would normally avoid. Sometimes it arrives as apologizing without excuses. Sometimes it arrives as listening without shutting down. Sometimes it arrives as saying, "I care," when the old self would stay silent. These small actions rebuild identity. They teach the nervous system that closeness is not always danger. They teach the heart that care can exist without control. They teach the mind that dependence and weakness are not the same thing. With time, something beautiful happens. Relationships begin to feel less threatening. Peace feels less foreign. Warmth feels less suspicious. The person who once felt trapped by intimacy starts discovering that healthy love does not imprison. It supports, it steadies, it gives strength during difficult seasons. There may also be pain during this process. Old memories can rise. Missed chances may return to mind. People once pushed away may no longer be available. That grief is real, but grief can be sacred when it moves a person forward. It proves the heart was alive all along. Many older dismissive avoidants carry shame about the years they lost. They think it is too late. Too much time passed. Too many mistakes were made. Too many bridges burned. But shame often lies. It tells people the future must obey the past. It does not. Even if some doors stay closed, new doors can open, new friendships can form, family bonds can improve, trust can grow slowly, self-respect can deepen, inner peace can begin today, not years ago. Life does not ask whether you started perfectly. It asks whether you are willing now, and willingness changes destiny. Real strength is no longer proving you need nobody. Real strength is being able to stand alone when necessary, while also receiving love when offered. Real maturity is not emotional distance. It is emotional responsibility. Real freedom is not isolation. It is having the ability to connect without losing yourself. This lesson can transform every area of life. Work becomes healthier because identity no longer depends only on achievement. Friendships become richer because walls stop blocking sincerity. Family relationships can breathe again because pride loosens its grip. Even solitude becomes better because it is chosen from peace instead of created from fear. There is also a gift waiting on the other side of healing: softness. Softness is often misunderstood. People think it means fragility. In truth, softness after pain is strength refined. It is the ability to remain kind after disappointment. It is the ability to stay open after being hurt. It is the ability to love without pretending you are made of stone. That kind of strength cannot be bought. It is earned. If someone recognizes themselves in this journey, they should know this. The past explains you, but it does not own you. Old coping methods may have protected you once, but they do not have to lead you forever. The version of you built in survival mode is not the final version of you. There is still time to become emotionally free. There is still time to learn warmth. There is still time to let trusted people in. There is still time to speak words you buried. There is still time to create a life that feels full on the inside, not only impressive on the outside. Some people grow older and harder, others grow older and wiser. The difference is not age. It is whether they choose truth over habit, courage over avoidance, and connection over fear. The years will pass either way. So let them pass with healing. Let them pass with honesty. Let them pass with love finally allowed to enter. Because the greatest victory is not building walls no one can break. It is building a heart strong enough to open again.